Mutual funds versus index funds versus ETF. You've probably heard these words before. Mutual funds, index funds, and ETF. They sound familiar, but let's be honest. Do you really know the difference? You've heard these terms 100 times, maybe even 1,000. But when someone asks you, what's the difference between all these funds? It suddenly feels confusing. Don't worry, you're not alone. So many people talk about these terms all the time, but rarely does anyone explain them clearly. And that's okay, because the world of investing can seem complicated until someone breaks it down simply. The truth is, understanding these funds isn't just for experts or finance professionals. It's for anyone who wants to make their money grow safely, steadily, and wisely. So in this video, let's decode it together. Let's understand what mutual funds, index funds, and ETF really are, how they work, how they differ, and how you can use them to start building your financial future. When I first started investing, I chose ETF, thinking they were the perfect fit. But later, I realized they missed one important key feature. That's when I switched to index funds. And trust me, it was a learning moment I'll never forget. Here, in this video, I want to share everything I learned through my investment journey with you, so that you can be more informed before making any investments of your own. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about money and investing for beginners, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos every week. Mutual funds. I'm going to start with mutual funds because they've been around the longest. Mutual funds came way before index funds and ETF, and the earliest known mutual fund was supposedly invented way back in the 1800s. They were created as a way for a group of people to pool their money together and invest collectively. Mutual funds offer three major benefits. First, convenience. By investing in a mutual fund, you get to own a bunch of different stocks all in one easy package. A mutual fund could have hundreds of different stocks in it, but you only have to make one purchase. In a world without mutual funds, if you wanted to have, say, 100 different stocks in your portfolio, you'd have to make 100 separate purchases, paying trading commissions as brokerage fees 100 times, and wasting hours in front of your computer clicking the buy button. But by investing in a mutual fund, you get instant ownership of all the stocks that the fund already holds. Second, diversification. Owning a lot of stocks at once gives you diversification, a strategy that reduces your investing risk by spreading your money across many different stocks. Instead of putting all your money in one stock, which is like putting all your eggs in one basket, you spread it across many. That way, if one of the stocks in the mutual fund crashes, you're still fine because it's only a small portion of your portfolio. Mutual funds typically consist of hundreds of stocks, so they provide diversification that would be very hard to achieve on your own. Third, professional management mutual funds are managed by investment professionals. So, rather than picking stocks on your own, you have a professional expert team that's supposed to know what they're doing. So mutual funds offer convenience, diversification, and professional management. But that doesn't mean they're 100% amazing. The big problem with having professional fund managers is that they charge high fees. When smart, expert finance professionals are actively picking stocks for your mutual fund, that's called active management. In return, actively managed mutual funds charge an annual fee, usually around 1 to 2% of your account balance every year. For example, at 2%, if you invested 1 lakh rupees in a mutual fund, 2,000 rupees goes straight into the fund manager's pocket every year, even if your investment goes down. The fund manager still gets paid no matter how the fund performed. So you could literally end up with less money than you started with. And even if you find a fund manager who performs well for a few years, their success usually doesn't last in the long run. Over time, those fees add up and eat into your returns, often by hundreds of thousands of rupees. That's why the vast majority of mutual funds just aren't worth the high costs. All right, now that we've covered mutual funds, let's move on to index funds, the quiet revolution that changed everything. Index funds. Then came the index fund. One day, a guy named Jack Bogle got sick of mutual funds ripping people off with high professional fees, so he invented a whole new category called index funds, and it completely revolutionized the investing world. Unlike traditional mutual funds, index funds are passively managed. This means instead of paying expensive fund managers to buy and sell stocks, an index fund follows a fixed formula that eliminates the need for human decision-making. The formula it follows is based on a market index, and that's where the name index fund comes from. An index is like a scoreboard of the stock market. It helps measure how the market is performing overall. So instead of looking up thousands of stocks individually, you can simply check one index to see how the market's doing. Jack Bogle created the first index fund in the 1970s, and it mirrored the S&P 500 index, one of the most widely followed benchmarks in the world. Here in India, we now have plenty of index funds to choose from, such as Nifty 50 index funds, Sensex index funds, Nifty Next 50 index funds, Nifty 100 mid-cap and small-cap funds, and also there are sectoral or thematic index funds, each tracking a different segment of the market. Some popular examples include Nippon India Index Fund, Nifty 50 Plan, HDFC Index Fund, Nifty 50 Plan, ICICI Prudential, Nifty 50 Index Fund, and many more to choose from. You can check them out, or if you'd like me to guide you personally, just leave a comment below and I'll send you the details of the funds that I hold in my portfolio and why I chose them. The fund fees are much lower because you're not paying for expensive fund managers. In India, the expense ratio for index funds can go up to 1% as per SEBI limits, but most large index funds charge much less, usually between 0.15% and 0.40% annually. So, index funds are a type of mutual fund. All index funds are mutual funds, but not all mutual funds are index funds. An index fund clearly states which index it tracks. If you check the fund's prospectus, it'll say something like, "The fund employs an indexing investment approach designed to track the performance of a standard benchmark." But for an actively managed mutual fund, it'll say, "The advisor independently selects and maintains a portfolio of common stocks for the fund." That's how you can tell the difference by studying the prospectus. All right, now that we've understood index funds, let's move on to ETF, the next evolution in the investing world. ETF, or exchange-traded funds. ETF were introduced about 15 years after the first index fund, and they're quite similar, with one major difference. Here's the key difference between index funds and ETFs that often confuses people: how and when you can buy or sell them. With index funds, your purchase or redemption happens once a day at the end of the trading day. It doesn't matter whether you place your order in the morning, afternoon, or evening. All the orders are collected throughout the day and executed at the fund's closing price, which is called the net asset value, or NAV in short. This means you'll get the same price as everyone else who invested on that trading day session, regardless of whether you placed your order in the morning or evening. So even if the market goes up and down during the day, your transaction price won't fluctuate. ETF, on the other hand, trade in real-time live prices on the stock exchange, just like company shares. Their prices fluctuate throughout the day based on supply and demand, and you can buy or sell them anytime during market hours at the live market price. This gives ETF more flexibility for traders who want to react to price movements instantly, but for long-term investors it usually doesn't make much difference, and it can even tempt you to trade more often than necessary. If you wanted to invest in ETF, you could choose from Nifty 50 ETF, Sensex ETF, Nifty Next 50 ETF, or even Gold and Debt ETF. The question is, do I need the real-time tradability that ETF offer, or am I okay with a regular index fund? In my experience, being able to trade ETF in real time doesn't really help long-term investors, because ETF trade like stocks. It's easy to get caught up watching the price go up and down, and that can encourage impulsive buying or selling. And since human nature tends to lean toward gambling behavior, that's the opposite of smart investing. So personally, I think ETF can do more harm than good. If you're not sure whether to go with ETF or index funds, I'd recommend index funds. They're basically the same thing. just without the temptation to trade constantly. Automatic reinvestment advantage. Another huge reason I switched from ETF to index funds is automatic reinvestment. This makes it super easy to save and invest without lifting a finger. Index funds allow you to set up a recurring monthly SIP from your savings account. They'll automatically buy more units for you every month with no extra charges. Its free and automatic reinvestment feature helps you build strong investing habits. ETF don't offer this feature. If you wanted to invest more every month, you'd have to manually buy ETF units again, which means paying brokerage and transaction fees each time. Final summary. So now you should have a clear understanding of mutual funds, index funds, and ETF and how they differ. Mutual funds came first, offering pooled investing and professional management. Index funds followed, a type of mutual fund with lower fees and passive management. ETF came later. They trade like stocks and offer everything index funds do, except automatic reinvestment. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe for new videos every week. If you have any questions about what I talked here today, drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to reply. And for more beginner-friendly info on the stock market, check out the Basics of Stock Market Explained video linked below. Thank you for watching and happy investing.